Amy, Mick and Mel are in a dressing room.
I thought, to make this understudy vlog a little bit better, I'd get some mates to come and join me. Cue Mick and Mel. Who are you? And who do you understudy?
I'm Michael Patrick, and in Taming of the Shrew I play the tailor and I understudy Grumio, who's played by Dickie Clues. And in Measure for Measure I play Elbow and I understudy Lucio, who's played by Joseph Arkley, and I understudy Pompey, who's played by David Ajao.
I am Melody and I play Vincentia in Taming of the Shrew. Shrew. And I understudy Amanda Harris, who plays Baptista, and Sophie Stanton, who plays Gremia. And I play Kate Keep Down and the Justice in Measure for Measure, but I understudy Claire Price's Aeschylus, Kareena Jones's Sister Francisca, and Graham Brooks's Barnardine.
What a selection of characters!
Apparently I'm versatile.
Oh, in Taming of the Shrew, I understudy...
Did you say your name as well?
Hello, my name is Amy Trigg.
In case they don't know that at this point.
Trust me, Mick, they know. In Taming of the Shrew, I normally play Biondella, but I understudy Trania. And in Measure for Measure, I normally play Juliet, but I understudy Gent 1, Gent 2, Froth, and Singer.
Also very versatile.
So versatile. Have you ever understudied before?
I was once involved in an all-meal production of The Importance of Being Earnest. This was to highlight marriage inequality in Belfast at the time, and I understudied every single role in The Importance of Being Earnest. So if you ever need anyone to learn every single line of The Importance of Being Earnest, give me a ring. But I didn't ever have to go on, so I learned all the parts and then never went on, sat in the dressing room for a month or two.
Oh, Mick.
I understudied the part of Mrs. Lintott in a tour of the History Boys, and I had a track as Fiona, the secretary. I never got to go on as Mrs. Lintott, but they were very good. They gave us lots of understudy rehearsals and time on stage and everything.
I have never understudied before. Oh, come here.
Here we go.
Yes. Hi, Leslie.
Hello.
Hi, Leslie.
That wonderful dresser, Leslie.
apologise.
Leslie, we're vlogging, so don't be alarmed. We're vlogging, but being a wheelchair user, I never thought I would be asked to understudy a character who isn't a wheelchair user, and I can't think of many plays, if any, where there is in the middle of a sentence, mate.
Sorry.
Yeah, I can't think of many plays where there's like two wheelchair users. So I never thought that I would be able to like understudy.
That's what's so great with this company, in that we have Kareena, who's visually impaired, who understudies sighted actors. Charlie, who is...
Mick looks very confused.
Deaf.
Sorry, I'm a blank. Charlie, who... Charlie?
She became the first signing actor to cover a role ever, I think, in British theatre.
Yeah, a role that is normally played
Yeah.
by someone who is not
Who
signing.
can speak, yeah. Not that Charlie can't speak, she can speak, but she chooses to use BSL.
Come on in, guys. We're joined by more members of the Understudy Club.
USC! 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 That means Understudy Club.
In the back, who are you and who do you understudy?
Hello, I'm Hannah. In the Taming of the Shrew, I understudy Lucentia and Hortensia, and in Measure for Measure, I understudy Mariana and Juliet.
I am Alexander, and in Taming of the Shrew, I understudy Bianco and Biondella. And in Measure for Measure, I understudy Elbow, Secretary, and Claudio.
Oh, I also do Kate Keep Down, actually.
Oh, yeah.
That's important.
Yeah,
It's very important.
Yeah. When did you find out you were understudying and how did you feel?
I found out right at the beginning, well, when I got the job, that I would be understudying, but I didn't know what understudy roles they would be. I think we found out around the same sort of time in Taming what parts we got, which was like, I think the third week of rehearsals, was it?
Yeah, some people were hired knowing that they were understudying specific roles. Most of the company didn't know before that week who we were understudying.
I did.
You did?
Did you?
I did. I knew before I went to the casting that I was up for Aeschylus understudy and Vincentia understudy. But I got that one.
Yay!
I definitely didn't know about Hortensia. I think they gave me Lucentia, and then like 2 weeks later Lee was like, so, how do you feel about doing Hortensia too? And I was like, interesting.
Oddly, I auditioned for Pompey but knowing that Pompey had already been cast.
Oh, okay.
But they just wanted me to use Pompey to show off my comedic skills for various parts.
Does anyone want to talk about how Understudy works within our company?
There's 18 actors in each show. Let's say David's off in Measure for Measure. David plays Pompey. So if David goes off, that means I understudy Pompey, so I play his part. I normally play Elbow. Egg understudies Elbow, so that means Egg has to come up and play Elbow. And that means that other people then cover Egg's officer track. So it's like Patrick jumps up, I think, and Patrick normally does other things, but he just jumps in and does that track. So everyone comes together and sort of everyone shifts around and stuff. And some people who aren't officially understudies for a part will come in and cover a little thing, like people will cover scene changes and things like that.
I dangled some keys and I got some extra money for it.
If it's not going to impact your role too much, you could still keep what you usually do and do your understudy as well.
Yeah.
So in that situation, I still did my gentleman in Measure for Measure, and then stepped up to do Elba.
There's one situation in Taming of the Shrew where Amelia is Hortensia and I'm the pedant. We both understudy each other. So what happens if one of us is off? We play both parts, which can get quite confusing, especially as both parts involve disguise.
You're not getting Cooney in to talk about his Cooney swing.
We
Super
do
swing.
have a swing!
Oh, we do have a swing!
We have a swing!
He plays Bianco, but he covers all of Petruchia's servants. He'll kind of fill in whichever gap on the
He's
stage.
done, I'd
How many
say,
of us?
5 variations.
And he hasn't had any rehearsal, he kind of just watched us and kind of just came into the dance call,
he was
right?
really
just
good at bringing it up.
I think it's worth mentioning our assistant directors at this point, who have
Absolutely.
to sit down and work out all that kind of, I'm going to say math, but they work out who can cover what tracks.
Logistically, you have to figure that out before casting the understudies that it's physically possible. And that, I guess that goes across, it's not just for understudies, it goes across the season. That's why casting a season is so complex, because you have to think across 3 shows, you've got to get 27 actors that can all fit into these parts, and then you've got to get all the understudies to fit all of those parts as well. So it's a real feat of organisation.
It is mathematics, isn't it?
Another thing to mention about our amazing assistant directors is not only do they have to do this and they have to write out the sheets for the understudy cards, they're called, so whenever someone's off they have the cards so everyone can check, but they also rehearse all the understudies. For our 2 shows, which is Shrew and Measure, that is the incredible Lee Tony, and then for As You Like It, that is Emma Baggett.
I loved the understudy rehearsals, mostly because this is all our debut season, isn't it? And I think everybody who does a debut season at the RSC is expected to understudy, which is great. You sort of take that as a given. It was really relaxed and really warm and friendly, and we quickly bonded.
In Clapham, when we were rehearsing, we rehearsed most evenings, didn't we?
Yeah.
Or quite a few evenings.
Yeah, so after normal rehearsals were finished.
Yeah, so some of us had quite long days, and then we got a bit more time in Stratford as well. So we were very well prepared, I must admit, especially
Really
for
well
Shrew. It
prepared.
felt like we had a lot of time with Lee to really feel comfortable with our parts, especially us, because we weren't rehearsing it As You Like It, whereas the lot who were rehearsing As You Like It didn't have as much time as us.
Because As You and Shrew rehearsed at the same time.
If they ever had to have full company As You Like It rehearsals, that freed up days that we could use for the Shrew understudy rehearsal.
It might be worth mentioning that because we rehearsed with Lee, our assistant director, so much that she also had an input, I think, in who was cast for the understudy roles.
Yeah.
So I think who was cast for the understudy roles, it's not set, and it's like a negotiation between the director and casting and the assistant director, and the 3 of them sort of have a conversation around it.
So thank you, Lee.
Thanks, Lee.
She couldn't think of anybody to understudy Barnardine, and it was great. Malcolm did.
Cut to black. Cut to Mick and Amy.
Dance break.
They dance very badly.
Yay.
Cut to black. To be continued.